So on the menu for today, we'll open up with some questions and answers in the beginning. Any questions you may have about names, about the sounds, that'll be our time to have a discussion. From there, we'll jump into our knock-knock dialogue. We'll review our phrases that we learned on Tuesday so that we can get extra practice with pronunciation and familiarity. I'll give you a chance to copy and paste the phrases, and then we'll go into breakout rooms. So for about 15 minutes, we'll do our breakout rooms. That'll be our opportunity to practice our dialogue with each other. And if there's time after that, we'll review our vowels, and then we'll share homework. So opening up for questions, are there any folks who have questions unanswered at this point about names or anything we've gone over so far? And just a reminder, you can use your raise hand function on Zoom, and that'll put you at the top of my screen so I can call on you.
Nobody has any questions.
Not yet. Let's see. Oh yeah, Sani.
Goodness, cheese. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. You know, took a recording of myself doing the homework, and I tried to download it in the homework link that's on our to Foodie to Foodie, but it didn't work. So at some point during the day, if you could show me how to do that, or do I just send that to you? And is it okay to have you listen to me and then make corrections so that I want to learn how to say it correctly from the beginning? So just wanting some help. Thank you.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, so Sani, if you have an audio recording, you could email it to us. And otherwise, we'll help you too in the breakout rooms today. Any other questions from folks? If not, we'll go ahead and review our dialogue from Tuesday.
Before we do that, I would like to tell you about the letters. One thing you have to remember is that I tell you about the letters, it never changes. It's always the same. So it's really important to know the rules. And one of the rules is the underlined letters. You say them in your throat. So there's a very few not vowels, but consonants that can be underlined, and K is one of them. So if you have, you see something underlined with a K, maybe a KA, and say to yourself in English, ka, and then move it to the back of your throat, ka. That is very common to see the underlined letter like with a K. Another one is G, and so if it's a G that you say K in English, and then move it to the back of your throat. And you can do this every time in order to get yourself used to the idea of using saying the letters in the back of your throat. And it's really important, and here's the reason. So if you were using the G and it's say Gooch, and if you say it with the English G, it's gooch, gooch with a regular G. And if it's underlined, you say gooch. So it's different. And it's two different things. Gooch underlined is a wolf. Without the underline, gooch is a hillside. So for that reason, it's really important to watch the way the words are written. And in regards to the vowels, if you don't watch for the tone marks, then you're saying something else that you didn't intend to say. For instance, TEEL without a tone mark is teeth. Teeth. With a tone mark, same spelling exactly. Teeth. And I hope you can hear the difference. Teeth. Teeth. So without the tone mark, you're saying a scar, like a scar on yourself. If you say it with a high tone, teeth, it's shoes. So it's teeth, scar, teeth, shoes. So watch for those, and especially the tone marks that appear on the vowels, and so it's really important for that reason. If you're not used to noticing the tone marks, mark it with a different color so that you can make sure you get it right. The other underlined letter is X. Underline X, of course, is in your throat. And to say the X, just remember that there's no X that sounds like an English X. I had a student that had really had a lot of trouble with that. One for AX underlined that means yourself. You're talking about yourself. It's mine or me or that kind of phrase, mine. So underlined, that's what it is. And so don't say X. There's no X that sounds like an English X. So the other letter that plays a really important part in the language is the W. So you find a lot of these that are harder to say after a consonant, like after a K or after a X or a letter like that. It's not a word. It's only there to show you what to do with your lips. So I've heard people say for saying their names, they say Saku. There's no sound after the W, not Saku. And there's also a tendency to put the W before the K and say Sauk. I pick up on that right away. So try to remember when you say it, sock, sock, sock. Don't pinch the K. It's a regular K. Sock. So then we come to the pinched letter. That's a letter, a consonant that has an apostrophe. And I try to tell the students the pinched letter is mostly inside your mouth. It's not in your throat. You don't have to gargle it. It's just, I think a good example is a pinched S sounds almost like a Z. So that because you have to close your teeth on it. And that's really a good clue for you to follow when you have the apostrophe mark. And we don't call it apostrophe, we call it pinch. You pinch the letter, and that kind of gives you a clue about closing your teeth. What's an example of pinched K? Yeah, K. A. Yeah, A.
Yeah.
So you click on it and make sure that you make that clicking sound and it's inside your mouth. So these are letters that are really common, and you're going to be hearing it a lot. And I hope to hear good sounds on those. And it takes time to study. As an English speaker, you have the tendency to fall back on that. And the other thing that happens with English speakers is that your mind goes back to when you find out what the phrase is in English. You're used to saying, "How are you? How are you?" Your voice goes up in the end. But in Lingit, it doesn't. So it's a quite a monotone phrase with the question mark has a tone mark. Wasa iati, wasa iati. So it's these marks and are really important. There is a period that we use, and it usually appears between vowels. And one good common one is wa eh. That means it's called a glottal stop. A glottal stop. And that one is pretty easy because in the English language, there's a good example of when you say, oh, that kind of stop. So you say, wa eh, wa eh. Talking about somebody, like you're saying, wa eh, how are you? How are you? And so I got off the track with the English way of speaking, is that what happens is you realize you're asking a question, so then your voice goes up on the end. Wasayati. So that's not the way you're supposed to say wasayati. So it's important. I can't stress it enough to watch where the tone marks are, because That's where what's important. Also, watch where the W appears. You don't say it. It's not a word. It just tells you what to do with your lips. Um, and let's see what else. When there's the letters get harder to say when you have a combination, a letter that's pinched and underlined. That's when you fall off the chair trying to say it, and it's but it's something you can get used to it, and it's it'll come pretty easy to do. So if there are any comments or questions about writing, this is all about writing and also being able to read what you see. Um,
I see people taking lots of notes. Does anybody have a question?
you want me to repeat anything?
Are we- Shawat Kedan, you have a question?
Yeah, I'm just a little confused. Is there a difference in meaning between wasa iati and what ku a?
Is there,
Did I get that
is there a
right?
difference in meaning between wasa iatida and wa'eqa'a?
Well, equa yeah, well, equa, and you,
And
what, what it means. So somebody asks you, wasa tea, and you say touch wasa, and you can say, wa'equa, and you. And I hope you notice that wa'equa doesn't have any tone marks at all.
Okay, goodness, cheesh.
Ah,
Cheesh.
are there any more questions? Just comments in the chat that it's very helpful to hear the sounds and they like our notes.
Yeah, I mentioned that usually refers to yourself. Adi, it's mine. Sai, it's my name. The things like that is about yourself. And when the I appears first, eh, wasa iyati, is you, yours, talking about another person. So then let's see, do you, and the interesting thing is that's also a German word and has exactly the same meaning, and it means do is like you're talking about a boy or a girl. We don't really say do to see that person's daughter, to ish that person's father. Do can refer to a man or a woman or a child. Okay. Ha, HAA means ours. You're speaking as a group. It's our house. Ha Hidi. Ha Ish, our father. So it's you can conjugate all those words, and it always has the same meaning. On the one for the talking about yourself, is what I said, and then hat. I said the same thing. Underline XAT. Hat Hatyak A. I'm okay. And
Okay, there was a question in the chat. Let me find it. Somebody asked, what's the difference between Dutch Gen and Dutch Genk?
when you add the K, you're talking about a small child. That's my grandchild. That's little grandchild. That's when I was growing up, we used to hear the word usk, OOSK, usk. That means little, small something. Somebody's giving you a piece of cake and they're giving you a little piece. You say usk. And then with the newer generation, it's changed to uske. Uske. So it means the same thing, but it's more to the generation than uske. And the way words are formed is the Clinkets, the old people in speaking the language, speaking the English language, have difficulty. And we'll talk about that later, but we don't have R's. We don't have Q's. We don't have, what was it? R's, P and B's.
Right.
Yeah. F's. So the old people couldn't say it. So coffee became coffee. There's a X and a W. Coffee. Yeah. I hope you can see me because a lot of times you can tell how to form the letters. I try to exaggerate it for you to see me. Coffee. And there's a lot of words like that that were formed and was accepted into the language. And I think it's really good. Some people say, don't say that. That's not the way we say it, but it's a new way. It's a new way of saying it, and it becomes acceptable. things that were talked about a lot. A stove,
Right.
they called it a stew,
Stew.
stew with a D and an X, and
Stew.
X with no markings on the end.
Stew.
Stew.
Stove. Stew.
Yeah. So the language is really difficult because they figured that there's like 5 letters in a language that doesn't appear in any other language in the world. So you're in for something, and I'll do the best I can by saying it so that you can hear it, and I'll also expect you to respond and ask questions and learn how to say it. And I pick it up real fast when I hear people talking, because there's a, like I said, a tendency to be to use your English brain. Example I give is like when the kindergartners used to give a report of what they did over the weekend, and it just for some reason it happens almost every time, and they say, and we went to the zoo, and we went to the zoo. It was good. Voice goes up, and so there's a tendency to do that in learning this language. So that's what I watch for too.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Don't put a tone mark where there isn't one.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay. And we have a question from Zira.
I'm not, it's not so much a question, but an expression of gratitude to our elder teacher, because it's so helpful for me. My first language is Southern Shoshone or Tagish, which is the way I think, but I really appreciate your talking about not using the English pronunciations or the English point of speaking, because it doesn't work. What I'm trying to do is to keep up with switching between Tlingit and Southern Shoshone and Tagish. My father is Tlingit, so that's why I'm wanting to learn the language. But it's very interesting. I just want to say to you how much I appreciate what you're doing to help me grab this. Just as an example, when you use a word like stew, in Southern Shoshone, we spell it a little bit different because we have different accent marks, but in Southern Shoshone, it's stew, and it means stove as well.
Oh.
So I think we share a lot of words.
Yeah, we do.
And another one is goth, because of course when we go to the coast to visit our relatives, we come back with pilot bread, so we also took what they call it and brought that with us as well. So you hear a lot of that in our language as well too.
Hot.
So, yeah.
Favorite. I like it toasted with lots of butter on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody put on a contest to see who could come up with the best recipe for using pilot bread. And I never did hear the results, but that was interesting to me. I think my dad used to make French toast from that. He would dip the cracker in water and then in eggs, and then throw it in the frying pan and cook it.
Sure.
Oh.
So that was one thing I remember. But and my mom used to break it up and put it in my tea, with some sugar and a little bit of oil. Well, the crackers are buttered, so the oil goes into the tea. So it's kind of like a soup, strange soup, but that's what I used to eat for my lunch.
Oh, cool. Somebody said, my husband and I always bring soap berries from the Yukon to the coast and trade for dried seaweed. Yum.
Oh, I wish I could get some berries. Yeah, I do my berry picking at Costco. Can't get the berries I like anymore.
Mhm. What kind do you like?
Well, I buy the blueberries because there's no choice.
Yeah,
Yeah, the strawberries and raspberries.
yeah.
Yeah.
I saw we had another question too in the chat, and somebody wanted me to go back to a previous slide. I typed up a couple slides. Can you let me know which one?
Oh, it's all good now. I've got it. Thank you.
Oh, you got it. Okay, good.
Ah, okay.
Pretty cool. Any more questions on the sounds we just went over?
I will be reminding you, so it's not like a one-time thing because it's important as you read. There's other letters that are combined, such as a TL. And another thing is we don't have a ST, we have a TS.
Mm.
So
Mm,
there's
mhm.
a tendency to put the S before the T. We don't have that. So I was also thinking about, we don't have a U that sounds like you. We only have an U. So when you say university, we don't say university, we say university.
City.
Mhm.
And the interesting thing about the languages in Alaska is when you see it, try to say all the letters. You'll be able to figure it out. And I think that's one thing that's important about the native languages. Okay, are we done?
Yeah, I don't see any more questions. Oh, one more question. Says in the chat, can you please pronounce the TL sound?
TL is, you say both letters. And the plain TL, TLEIN, plain, plain. You can, and it's interesting that the English L does appear on that one with the combination.
Ah,
Plain,
okay.
plain means big.
Mhm.
Plain, wow, that's really something, you know. Plain, yeah. Plain Gunafchish, a great big thank you. Yeah. So there's new speakers that's goes on and on like goodness cheese, goodness cheese, goodness cheese. It doesn't matter how many times you say it. The old people used to just say, plain goodness cheese. great big thank you. You don't have to repeat it or sound, make that particular kind of sound. Although I kind of wonder if we keep doing it, it will become part of the language.
That's how it works.
Can we go over no, where you have the TL at the beginning and the L at the end?
This, if the L stands alone, then you do the air Lingit or like the example I gave about shoes, teeth,
Eesh.
teeth,
Mm.
or the scar, teeth, teeth, or teeth. So whenever the L stands alone, then you have to say it with that voiceless way of saying it. And if it's
No.
TL, then you say both letters.
Oh,
Naftish. Okay, we have a question from GJ Mary.
Yeah, so I was asking about how you would pronounce no with the, because the TL at the beginning and then the L at the end, it just makes it harder.
Oh yeah, like maybe clash.
wow, click.
Ah,
There's
Yeah, let's see, TL, EL. So it's, you have to watch that. Clash, clash,
clash.
yeah. That's a negative word,
Mhm.
saying no. Okay. Any other questions?
One more,
Um,
one more question from Zira.
The question I had is from the word claim. Although I know that you've used it to describe something big.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering if the word and other words too, not just this one, but other words are used in other instances, like claim could be used. Could we use that to describe something that's great
yeah,
or very important?
big,
Okay,
yeah,
so just big in size?
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Mhm. Good questions.
Do we have time to go over the phrases?
Yeah, it's 12:38. So I'm putting the phrases on the screen now, and Wu Shuksani Keek will demonstrate them for you again so that we can just kind of practice.
So we did the how at created,
Uh,
and so did they use it in the breakout room yet?
Not yet.
Okay,
No.
so the words, the two lines that I gave you is after the at the beginning, after you knock and they say come in, then the person that said come in speaks next, because he wasn't expecting you, and he or she says how tin, you came or you arrived. then the one that knocked gets to say, hatke. So the X underlined with W is wa, tin. I think that's the only difficult letter. So you gargle. If you want to, like, you're clearing your throat. Hua, tin. Yeah. Yeah, like you're trying to clear your throat, something in your throat, and you want to get it out. And don't spit on your computer, but when you're trying that. But it's one that you can get used to. And don't substitute any other letters for it, because like I say, then you're saying something else. So, or you're saying nothing.
Yeah.
So it's after Neshko, the person that speaks next is the person that said come in. And the next speaker will be the one that came in, knocked on the door and came in. Are there any questions or comments on that?
Yeah, looks, I see a couple hands raised. Shawat Kedan, did you have a question? Oh, Shawat Kedan, I see you're unmuted, but I can't hear your audio.
I hear something, but
Yeah, maybe a microphone issue. Should we demonstrate the dialogue for them?
yeah.
Both of us? Okay. All right, so we'll demonstrate the whole thing for you folks. Knock knock.
Adu sawa
Nila Torah Aya.
Neshko. How tin.
Tatke hat Kuchwatin.
So I hope that what we say matches the tone marks that we gave you. Any questions on that? Sometimes the students have to correct me, and I'm really pleased with that, because sometimes I'm busy writing and I don't, it used to be I write on a board and it would say, well, my notes show this. So I don't mind that. In fact, I'm pleased that you noticed.
Mhm.
Okay, so we go into the breakout room.
Yeah. So I'll paste this dialogue in the chat for folks. And if you want, you can jot it down, take a screenshot. And what we'll do next is go into breakout rooms so that everyone can kind of practice the dialogue with each other in pairs. We'll do groups of up to 10. Robert's going to help us break out. And it's 12:45 now, so we'll go for the rest, the 15 minutes left in class. So Robert, are you there?
Oh, yes, I am. I'm opening all rooms right now, unless you have a final comment.
No, I think we're ready. Thank you.
All rooms are open.
Okay.
early. Sorry.
Oh, that's
We went around a few times. We're like, let's go back. And now we're here all alone.
Okay. Well, since there's 6 of us here and I don't see a way for me to go to a different room, we could practice together, us.
Can I tell Shaksani Geek something?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So do you remember, so James Crippen, my husband, you were his very first Tlingit teacher, like, I don't know, 17 years ago. And Deush, James Crippen, and you told him, you need to go be a linguist because you have all these questions. And he is. So he has his PhD and he's teaching with the Yukon Native Language Center and with McGill and teaches Tlingit. And you were his very first Tlingit teacher
Yeah.
back at UAA like
Yeah.
15 years ago.
I remember him. I keep hearing about the work he's doing, and I always seem to arrive after he leaves. So I've been wanting to say hi to him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thank you.
take that back to him.
I will. He was very excited that I was taking the class with you. So he thinks of you often. And now that the pandemic's slowing down, if he can get to Alaska, he'll try to visit. Or if you come to the Yukon,
Uh,
come inland. We'll get you lots of soap berries.
oh boy. Yum. Yummy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know the name James Crippen, but I'm not sure we've had the privilege of meeting, although we might have, and I'd forgotten.
Mm.
But and again, it's connected with Yukon Native Language Center because I teach
Yeah.
Tagish there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And-
and those are credited courses with University Simon Fraser University. So I'll watch out for them. Although for the last quite a while we've been teaching over Zoom, so I miss a lot of people coming and going through the campus.
Mhm.
Okay. Looks like folks are coming back from their breakout rooms and are right at 1 o'clock. Did anybody have any last minute questions or comments before you move on to the next part of your day?
On knock knock. Are we supposed to say knock knock or what was it? Where
Cook,
that's
cook.
not cook cook.
Oh yeah. The first time we did knock knock, I had them say cook, cook.
And what's that?
It's just a phrase I heard before for knock knock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
You could use either one.
So does cook? What does cook mean? Does that mean knock?
It's just no, it's just a sound. I think I saw it in, yeah, I think I saw it in a storybook by Rene. Just kind of like a, what do you call it? Onomatopoeia. Yeah.
Okay.
We were put into a room, I forget what it's called.
Shawat Kidan, did you have a question?
Yes. I read somewhere that usk meant cute. I'm just wondering what the actual word for cute is.
it meant cute.
Yeah.
And she wants to know what.
She wants to know how she could say cute.
Usk.
So it does also mean cute?
Yeah, it may I think it's beginning to be a word like that with the new uski. That's
Okay.
kind of a new introduction. like a little child that's real cute,
Mhm,
you know. Uski.
mhm.
Oh, goodness, geez.
Uh,
Shigo, did you have a question?
I wanted to, maybe a comment. I just wanted to say thanks for giving the breakdown of that hot guillotine and what the parts mean. As a language geek, I really, it helps me to understand the parts of the words.
yeah.
So I just wanted to express appreciation for that. That's how I
Like
that's how
egg
I
on quiche.
learn my way around.
Yeah.
Okay. And somebody wrote in the chat, they'd like to hear Kuchwatin pronounced.
Hot. Hot. It's an H. Sounds like you're getting a little confused with. If you put an X, hot, it means halibut. So don't do that. It's just a regular H. Hot. Watin. And the X underlined with a W. I can't stress enough that you watch, especially for the W. Hua. Hua tin. Hot. Hua tin.
And I see a message too. Someone's curious if we could share a phrase for people to say when the meeting ends as they exit.
Yeah, when we get to the end of the knock knock, there's a parting there that we're going to study what to say, what people usually say, because we don't have the word goodbye. Never say it. So it's more like I'll see you again, which is more positive to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'll share what we hope you work on for homework. And that's just it, to continue practicing the dialogue we practiced. And so I'll put this in the chat again in case folks need it. And other than that, thank you for coming here and have a good rest of your day, everybody.